everybody, Dave Bartosiak here, and I got another chart of the day. No, I'm not talking about the S&P 500. I'm talking about KRE, my friends. That is the S&P 500 Regional Banking ETF. Now, if we look back, let's just go hop in a time machine. 2018, 2017, right? There's a little bit of volatility in this, right? It has bounces around. Here, arbitrary date in the past, September 2017, got this around 50, got up to 56, a little bit of movement. Tends to move along with that 200-day moving average, some of the more long-term moving averages. But it's not to say it's without volatility. So you see when the market rolled over in, late 2018, you got the same move here to the downside, peeling off some. So in terms of volatility, the regional banks certainly have some of that, right? But not really to the extreme that we've seen here recently. So we're talking, 70. I'll get you the exact number here. We're up close to $79, so 78 and change in January of last year. Most of last year brought about it some negativity for these smaller regional banks. That 200-day moving average provided a little bit of negativity, several times throughout the course of late last year. Lots and lots of resistance at that 200-day, right? Many, many times it came into play. But there was hope. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. False hope, maybe. That rally that kicked off this year got the regional banking ETF up over the 200-day moving average. So things were looking good, like we were actually going to make a move higher. The last few times it tested that level back in November and December of last year, it was met with some selling, but there was plenty to be optimistic about. And then it just kind of cracked, culminating in the SIVB contango, or the spread, from the SIVB situation. Definitely burnt down the forest over here on KRE. So contagion was the word I was looking for, not to be confused with contango. I've been looking at too many options chains recently. Anywho, so really big, nasty dip that was really tempting to buy. As this dust started to settle on KRE, it seemed like, hey, these regional banks can't go down forever. Maybe we should start pecking at something like this. That turned out to be the wrong thing to do, because if you look yesterday, and we're talking about May 4th, one of the worst days for this index, with a ton of negativity coming from it. And I'm not just talking about, this little 5% move to the downside. That's not really, what the really bad part is. Look at the volume, though. Volume's 117 million shares traded. And that's in the, the 36s. So you're talking upwards of $4 billion, more than $4 billion nominally being traded just in this single issue alone. That is a whole lot of volume, my friends. And we see today a little bit of upside action inside of it. And the reason for this, obviously, is all those regional banks. Insert your favorite ticker here. You got PACW is one, the PacWest Bank Corp, and a lot of these are going to look the same, right? So if you take a look at what the holdings in this ETF are, a lot of these charts are going to look very, very similar. We already know what we just what we had fold up not too long ago. The First Republic. So it's just everything looks pretty bad when it comes to these regional banks. I think it might be a little too soon to go ahead and load the boat on something like this. But I know there's definitely strategies that people use, selling puts on something like that. That way you can pocket some of the premium. If the stock goes up, you're golden. But if it can continue to go down, then you're going to get it for cheaper than it was today anyway. So lots of ways to play this one. But overall, definitely big time on the bearishness. And that's confirmed, too, if you're looking at this RSI. Way oversold, which had some people coming in to start pecking at it. But stocks kept going down. The ETF kept going down, while you have this strength inside of the RSI. that sort of divergence can be a hint of things to come, like we're going to go ahead and turn it around. Was not the case. Still remain heavily oversold there on KRE. It's one of my most interesting charts that I've seen recently. That's why I'm naming that one my chart of the day.